Hello everybody, and welcome back to Evolving Vibes, the community for witches, pagans, spiritualists, and everybody in between. So I'm so glad you all came back, and I'm so glad to be back in front of the camera. So for today's video, what I'm going to do is talk to you a little about putting additional bookmarks in your grimoire or in your Book of Shadows. Now, I did this book quite a while ago now. However, I did just start on a new book. And if you check out my video right up here, it's all about developing this book and how I'm going to be utilizing it. And going forward, how I'm going to be sharing my journey with you going into my shadow self. So that being said, this is my day planner, Book of Shadows. And what I'm going to do today is actually put a couple of more bookmarks in. Now, I did get a couple of comments and a couple of emails from some members of the community that were asking how I did so and if I could actually explain it to them or show it to them. And so that's what this video is going to be all about. Along with putting out the content for how to do bookmarks, what I'm also going to have in this video are some fun shopping experiences I went through with Home Depot and Spirit Halloween. They're different footage from the same experiences I had, and I didn't really have any place that I wanted to put them, so I'm adding them into this video because there are some helpful hints in it. In particular, about some of the besoms that I have over my shoulder right now, how cheap they are and how wonderful they are at Home Depot. But all that being said, stay tuned to the end because you'll see the end product of this video on how I put my bookmarks in and how it actually looks. And to be honest with you, I'm really kind of curious too to see how this comes out. So stay with me and I will see you on the other side of that camera. Okay, so we're going to be putting bookmarks in my day planner, Book of Shadows. And to do so, I'm going to need a couple of materials, and so will you if you're going to be doing your own bookmarks. My personal preference is hemp. I use hemp cord for everything. Thank you, Coco. This is just one of the hemp cord strands that I have, but I'm actually going to be using hemp cord out of this container. This real thin, thick, that make any sense? This real thin, strong hemp cord is what I'm going to be using. And mostly because it's strong, but along with that, it's black, so it's going to match my aesthetic as well as the aesthetic from the book. Now, I'm also going to be using some of the beads that I have. And obviously, you can't really see them all that well right now, but I'm going to turn the camera around and we're going to be doing a close-up of how I actually do it and how you can do it as well. Now, mind you, you can use ribbon, you can use yarn, you can use hemp cord, you can use cord, you can use pretty much anything that you want. It's your book, it's your book marker. You make it your own. Coco is really going crazy right now, if you haven't noticed, because it's raining outside. And if you remember that quick video I did, she loves going out in the rain. She loves getting wet in the rain, but we're not doing that today because A, I have to go to work, B, I'm already dry, and C, it's getting a little too chilly out there for her to be able to do that. So you can see that she got Reese off the windowsill just because. So here we are. So this is my life, and this is what I go through on a day-to-day basis, juggling the 4 kitty kids and the feather baby and their interactions together. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. So I'm going to turn this channel, I am going to turn this video around in 2 seconds, young lady, and you're going to be sorry. Anyway, I'm going to turn this video, really, Brian? Really? I'm going to turn this camera around so that you can see me do some ribbons for my Book of Shadows / day planner. I'm so glad I was able to get that out, and I'll see you on the other side of this camera. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is get all my materials together and get them cleaned. So I like working with 3s, if you've not noticed that in my other videos. So I'm going to be using 3 black ribbons. that I actually have from hemp twine. So it's going to be really strong, and I think the aesthetic's going to be fine. And then you get your assortment of whatever you want to use for a bookmark to hold it in place. Like I do have some stones here. I do have some keys here, and I'm going to be utilizing a bit of that in order to put everything into play. Another thing that I'm going to be needing, and I'm going to get in just a little bit, is just going to be a pipe cleaner, which is going to help me fish it through the book. So let's put these things together, and I'll show you exactly the step-by-step process that I like to use. Okay, so step one, we want to make the cord length much longer than the book itself. So if we put this book down right here, and we take this cord right here, you're going to see that it's got a lot of extra space, and that's what we're going to use to be tying off some of the things that we need and snipping off the rest of it after that. So the next step after we do that is deciding what we're actually going to be using. So I'm just going to pick out some beadwork, put it together, and tie it off and show you how it looks after it's tied off. Okay, so we completed our first bottom portion of our bookmark. So here's a key, and I tied that off with the hemp cord. Then I added this hematite stone, and I tied that off. So it's not going anywhere, and this is actually going to be the bottom of the bookmark. So now what I'm going to do next is show you how to fish it through the book. So let's put this down and let's get that book ready. Okay, you remember when I was talking about the pipe cleaner? This is what I was talking about. So I'm just going to take this hemp string and loosely put it with the pipe cleaner. And then what I'm going to do is take my book binding, which you can see right here. And this is just going to go right on in and all the way up. So let me show you another clip of how that looks on the other side. Okay, so you remember that pipe cleaner? Well, here it is. So I'm just pulling it out, and in doing so, there's my bookmark. So that's part one of it all, and now what we'll be doing is adding something to here so that it doesn't slide through on a regular basis. So let's go with that. So now that I have this top secured, and if you can see, I actually put 3 knots in, and I have the bottom secured right here. As time goes on, if you have to add any more bookmarks, you can just tie it simply to the base right here, run it on through using a good old-fashioned pipe cleaner, and bring it on out to the other side. And I actually add a little end to it, so then what you do is just use it as a bookmark. So I'm just going to randomly put it in a page so you can see how it comes out. And voila, there we go. And that's basically all you need to do. And I'm going to repeat the steps a few times. I'm going to trim that off. But at the very end, I'll show you exactly the end product. But that's simply just how you do it. Just that easy, and literally this has taken me about 10 minutes so far. So another method of doing this is directly tying right up to this primary right here. Just tying directly to that, and that's going to hold it up and keep this a little bit from falling around, or tying it directly to the ribbon itself. Either way works quite well, so it's up to you to decide whatever really vibes with you. Okay, so I finished my bookmarks. I have this that came with the book, and I have this one as well as this one. So I have 3 bookmarks. And I got my base over here, which I can actually, I left a little play in, so I can move it around and not have to worry about getting caught on something and damaging. Now, a couple of things to consider. I did this because I like the aesthetic. One other thing I could have done quite simply is just tied this hemp cord directly to the cord that came with the book itself. But I do like it the way it is, and I do like the top the way it is, but there are various options that you can do. This is just one of the methods that I have for doing it. Now let's turn the camera around and talk a little bit about the book and the bookmark itself. All right, so I completed the bookmark. This is the end result of that. A couple of keys and a couple of stones. I wanted to keep it a little low key because this is my day-to-day. I carry this with me to work and everything else, so I didn't want to put skulls and other things on it for a lot of different reasons. I saved that for my grimoire. But it's more my day-to-day, so this is all about knowledge, it's all about protection, and it's all about absorbing negative energy, which is why it's the way it is. Now, I have to say, this is my method of doing this one process. As I said in the video, you can actually tie it off to the ribbon that came with the book and do it that way. You can turn around and simply use a card. Use a couple of tarot cards for bookmarks as well. Or pieces of paper, anything you want really. But this is my aesthetic. This is how I like my journals to look, which is why it's like this. And this video was for you guys that were asking how exactly do I do it. I do hope you enjoy the video. I look forward to seeing you to the next video. And now let's just do some snippets from my recent Halloween shopping experiences. And I will see you next video. Be sure, like, subscribe, leave me that comment, let me know what you think. And why don't you watch a couple of dozen more of my videos, push it up the algorithm on YouTube, and get us more subscribers to our community. Until next time, be safe, be well, and as always, be blessed. Hey everybody, welcome back, and I am outside yet another Spirit Halloween. This one's in North Dartmouth, Massachusetts. We're going to see what they might have available for us inside of this store. I'm looking for some home decor and some things I can put around for both the house as well as psychic fairs. So let's go take a look. How about this for an offering or a soap dish? That's pretty wild. And these candle holders are definitely kind of cool. These are kind of cool. You can use them for tea candles. I would probably use them for electric tea candles though. This is a cool little trinket dish. If one of you guys actually smoke libations, this could be used for that, as well as jewelry and a bunch of other stuff, but kind of cute. Let's see, how much is it? $17. Not sure it's that cute. Plus, I almost broke it. So they do have these here, and I do kind of like them. So one of those may be coming home with me today. And they have this haunted house up here, which is kind of cool, but really not my vibe. And they have these little trinkets right here, which are kind of cool. So I'm considering. We do have pumpkins, and we do have some skulls. So no, I am not going to make another head joke on the skulls. I guess that in itself was a head joke on the skulls. And we have this scary little pumpkin and the three witches. And of course we have phantoms, we have witches, and we have ghosts that you can hang outside on your trees and such, and some skeletons. Now I have to talk about these, I really do. So if you haven't bought any yet, these are amazing. The classic cinnamon brooms. They're only $5.99, but they're amazing. They smell just like cinnamon, and honestly, it lasts for a very long time. I got two at the house, but I'm definitely going to pick up a couple of more today. Along with that, I just found these. They have little cinnamon whisk brooms, which also are really, really cool. And I'm probably going to pick up a couple of these too.